Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to another episode of Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. Hello everyone, this is Iggy. I'm back again with another video for you, and today we're going to be talking about the GI Sentry Post by Ideal Toys. Now, this particular toy was manufactured in 1967 by Ideal, and it's what is known as an unlicensed product. G.I. Joe was quite popular, and other toy companies would try and get in on the G.I. Joe bandwagon and produce things such as this Sentry Post. Now, Ideal Toys was formed originally in 1903 and produced the first teddy bears. And then later, the company, after World War I, became known for its production of dolls. And at one time, they were the #1 manufacturer of dolls in the world. And they came up with something called the Betsy Wetsy doll, which I think was first introduced in 1934. And they had other dolls like the Judy Garland doll, which was a licensed product, and also Shirley Temple, and Tammy and Thumbelina, and other dolls. They were known for a lot of different games, such as Mousetrap. One of my favorite boyhood games was Mousetrap. So what happened to Ideal Toys? They were the third manufacturer of toys in the world at one point. However, they got bought out, and they were sold to, I believe, Tyco. And Tyco was known for its like HO race car sets and things like that, and trains. They manufactured HO trains. And Tyco, so what happened to Tyco? Well, Tyco was purchased by Mattel, and they were both Ideal and Mattel were, and Tyco were absorbed and disbanded. So that's what happened to Ideal Toys. But today I want to show you this set. I wanted this when I was a kid, and I never got it. Mom would have my brother and I sit down at the kitchen table. And we would spend hours circling everything in the Sears Wishbook, of which we never got any of it, which is another story. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you today. This thing is in like minty fresh condition. I don't know how this survived all these years without getting dirt, unless the person who sold it cleaned it, but it's immaculate. And I'll show you what I mean. It's in very good condition. Now, this is constructed of cardboard with a vinyl covering. So what you see here, all of this is vinyl. It's got a handle on the top, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It's got artwork on 3 sides, or actually 4 sides if you count the top. But you can see there's no streaks, no dirt. This thing's fantastic. And something that's extremely rare for something like this is it's not all bent up. A lot of these, you still can find these on eBay, and they're all bent. They didn't last too well in the garage. I think this may have been stored in a closet or something because it's in too good of shape. Now, as far as Sentry Posts go, this is probably the most active Sentry Post you'll ever see. It's not exactly Checkpoint Charlie. You'll notice that there's explosions in the front with all the glass blown out. There's 2 explosions on the top. There's explosion on the side. And another one over here. So this was a hotly contested outpost. Now, to open this, you would flip this up, and there's a toggle switch here. Not a toggle switch, but like a latch, toggle latch. So we'll open that up and reveal the contents of the case. Now, it was designed to look like a Sentry Post, as you can see. And it had these, let me get this pointer, had these tracks along here. Now the tracks are very narrow. I don't know if you can see that, but that would be an extremely small truck. Okay, and it has this barrier here with the sandbags, and what you're to do was to open this up like this. It may not stand because it's very stiff, so I may not be able to get it to stay open. But this would open like this, and this gate would open and close. And you could put your figure in here of, say, an MP, which probably would be the best figure to put here. It has interior details, as you can see here. Now, in the background, it's not clear, but these appear to be Germans back here. You can see a little bit of a flip on the back of his helmet there. And there's more explosions. And this is full-on attack. And then on the ground, you can... This thing doesn't want to stay open. You can see a helmet. There's a backpack with a cartridge belt and canteen. Now, this carry case would fit one figure here and one here. So you could carry two figures. And for your accessories and whatnot, you would put them in these trays. Right here. Now, these trays are made out of plastic. And that's a variant that I was not able to determine what year this came out. I suspect that this was in production a little bit longer than the Sears catalog that I have would indicate. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I have here the Sears Wishbook reproduction created by Classic Toy Soldiers. You still can buy this, called the Big Toy Box, and it features 1951 to 1969. However, I could only find this in two of the years, and that was in 67 and 68. You can see here this was originally $2.49. The next year it went up 50 cents. It was $2.99. And you can see that this part here is different than what I have here. This is also made out of cardboard with vinyl covering it. And this section here, as these would get older, this would bow out like this. And this would get all bent. So I don't know if this was introduced as a way of preventing that from happening, or if it was how they originally were released and then changed to this, or vice versa. I don't have any information on that. But this is how they looked in the Sears book. Now, admittedly, this Sears catalog is incomplete. This is an abridged version of the toy books from Sears. But I thought you might be interested to see how the case would interact with the action figure. And this is interesting. You can actually see that this is bent. So it's a brand new case, and it's already bent there. Now, mine here doesn't have that problem. It's in very good condition. So this was a fun alternative to the official G.I. Joe footlocker. Almost every kid in America had one of the G.I. Joe footlockers, and there's millions of them that were produced. So almost everyone got one of those, including myself. My mom and dad got me one for Christmas. Now, this is just a side note, but I actually got this for Christmas. And I think I mentioned earlier that my mom was really opposed to war toys. And so she would get me G.I. Joe, but she would get me something like this. She got me that. Or she would get me an astronaut or something like that. Oh, she did get me this. But my dad was in charge of Christmas one year, And because my mom went on strike, because they would always argue about how much money was being spent on Christmas. So my dad went to, I think, Sears, and he got a cart. The store was going to close in an hour. That shows what a close call this was. And my dad literally ran to the store throwing things in the cart. And one of the things he grabbed was this set here, the green beret set. And I have it to this day. In fact, I have all the parts, the beret, the uniform, the bazooka, and the 2 rockets. Anyway, that's all I've got today on the ideal carry case. What I'll do is put it back together and give you some close-ups of what the entire case looked like. So let's do that now. I need to put the barrier back down. And we'll lift this up. And the latch works really well. I've got some, I think my Fort Cheyenne carry case, the latch, it doesn't stay latched. This part here will pop up out of here. Now apparently this guy is a giant compared to this guy over here, and his Garand gets really skinny at the end here. That doesn't quite look like a Garand, does it? From here over it looks okay, but then it's like the artist ran out of paint or something. I don't know. So you have it there, and here's another figure. He's firing forward with a 45 M1911 45. He seems to be unaffected by shrapnel. And same thing with this guy. He's a giant compared to the door here. But I like the artwork. It's fun. It's like what you'd expect from a comic book. And I used to be an avid reader of the comics, you know, the GI Combat and stuff like that. Sergeant Rock. I used to love those comics when I was a kid. I think my parents thought I was a little fascist or something. And here's another GI firing a carbine. And then, of course, the back is blank. I don't know if there's anything. No, there's nothing on the bottom. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. This is the GI Sentry Post by Ideal Toys, produced in the 1960s, an unlicensed product for G.I. Joe. This is Iggy saying thank you for coming along. If you get a chance, hit the subscribe button and the like button. That'll let me know that someone's actually watching these. And I want to thank you for getting Iggy with it. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.